Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is June 12th. My name is Adam, and I'm always joined, as always, by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And, dude, man, how have you been? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah. You know, it's been the weeks it's been. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been more personally more the same. Work, not work. Hassles at the unemployment office, etc., etc.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I saw your posts.
Found
That's
out that
crazy.
Their system had actually, somewhere, unbeknownst to me or anybody else apparently, decided that I wasn't working at both of the jobs I had. So when I was claiming for my hours at the one job I was still working at, it got confused, and that's why nothing ever went through.
Wow.
And it took and credit to the people that actually are working there and especially on the phones and trying to handle all this the best they can. I've never had a bad customer service person. Mm-hmm. They have always been polite and done the best they could and given me all the information that they were able to give. Some of them didn't have access to the entire system, so they didn't have all the answers to all the questions.
Right, it's not the employee's fault; it's the system.
Exactly, and I've never had a bad, anytime I was ever actually able to finally get through on the phone lines to somebody, they were always super polite and super understanding and helpful and great. And this last time, I finally got through to somebody, and they were like, "Yeah, it looks like this claim has been denied." I was like, "This is the second time. I gotta you gotta send me to somebody else." And they were like, "Sure, no problem. Put you on hold again." I was like, "All right, cool." And they sent me to somebody, and I said, "Here's what's going on. Here's what's happened. Can you explain this to me?" They said, "Yeah, it says you're not working at this pizza place, but you're claiming at this pizza place." I said, "I never said I wasn't working at the pizza place, or else I wouldn't be claiming at the pizza place." And they went through and they said, "No, here it is on your initial application. You were furloughed from the theater, but still employed at the pizza place. What the hell happened?" And they looked through and they said, we're not sure. At some point, as this was being processed, it got changed and everything got turned around. So they had to do was basically they fixed it, but in so doing, it started the process over again. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, we've fixed this bug. In order to continue, you have to restart the system. So which means they have to send another notice to the theater, and they get 10 days to respond, and that was a few days ago. So it's like I'm going to be back at work over there before I see any unemployment. It's ridiculous, but
Oh wow.
It's the system and the way it's screwed up, and they were not prepared for this for a number of budgetary reasons. But the people have been top notch. I've absolutely nothing but good things to say about the people that have been working on this.
That's good.
It's just a point of they're doing the best they can with what they have, and what they have sucks. So
yeah, man. How is COVID where you're at right now?
It's we've slowly started reopening, so we're seeing more cases and more hospitalizations, and people are saying, "Oh, it's because of the protest." And it's like, you don't know how this works. You don't. Yeah, I live in.
They want to blame anything on that.
Yes,
at this point.
It's not because nobody. Pick any store to go into, and you'll never see more than half the people wearing a mask. Maybe.
Yeah, it's crazy. People have just completely. It's almost like they don't care anymore. Even though more and more people are getting it, people are dying still. Florida is. I mean, we just had 1,900 yesterday, 1,700 the day before, 16 or something, or 1,200 the day before that. It's just rising here as well. I don't know. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm still doing everything. I'm sure you are too.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
And I feel like now when I do go into a place and I'm seeing less and less people with the mask.
Yep.
And I feel like maybe they're judging me, but I don't even care at this point. Like,
no, I'm with you. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna keep wearing mine for a while, just because I know people and I don't trust them.
Absolutely, 100%. So
it's gonna be. I admit I was always one of those people who whenever I would watch a New Japan show, whenever they would do like Wrestle Kingdom over at the Tokyo Dome, and you would see like a third of that crowd was wearing masks, and I was just like, why? I don't get it. And
Right.
now I get it. It was always preventative. It's like, hey, we just, either we were sick or we're at risk of being sick, and this is just a precaution. And over there, it's not a big deal. It's just, okay, we get it.
And in those countries, the young really take care of their elderly.
Yeah.
It's definitely a cultural thing here in this country. I think people are so greedy over here. But yeah, it's more of a, my family is like that, where we are around our elders a lot. The ones that, still live in the same area, of course. But we are, me and my brothers are getting groceries and stuff like that. We still do all that stuff for them, and we plan on doing it. I think the only thing my grandfather's really done is he's gone back to church, but he's like supposedly super careful. Still worried about him, of course, but
sure.
That's his way to socialize, and that's really the only thing he can do right now. So, but they're being safe. Thankfully, they have a very strict, you got to have this on. You got to make sure you and whoever you're with are apart from other people. And thankfully, their church doesn't have too many people where it's so hard to do that, where like they can really space out in that area. So, I was just like, hey, I'm sure you're doing everything okay, but just, you don't know these people, or I mean, you do, but you don't know how serious they're taking it when they walk away from,
Right.
So they're not shaking hands, they're not doing any of that. There's a lot of elderly people there as well, so they got to be very careful. But I think, and he even thinks so too. He thinks we've just opened too soon. But it's one of those things. Our government, our local government, our state government, just like yours, is failing on all parts to pay people that are out of work. There's no plan in place. Everyone in the country's gotten what, $1,200?
The 600 wasn't it? No, that's right. It was 12 for that one check, and then 600 for the unemployment every week, supposedly.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I haven't seen mine, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I thankfully I haven't been unemployed, so I don't know anything about that. But like I've talked to people in Canada where they're getting $2,000 for the next 6 months guaranteed.
Yeah, because
no questions asked.
Yeah, but they also have like decent health care and wages and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, they have all these things I wish we had, and of course, I talk to my friends. Some of it does come out of their taxes, but it's one of those, hey, we're in trouble now. Let's make sure everyone's okay now, and then down the road, that's when you pay whatever you need to pay back. You pay. They don't have to pay all of it back. There's like a small percentage of it that's taxed, right? And that makes sense. When down the road, you'll more than likely find work, hopefully. But right now the house is on fire, right? Like, so right now we got to figure it out. And so I don't know. It sucks that I go around and I see people just not taking it seriously. But I don't know. I did do one thing though. I've done one thing step outside of where I do it, and that was actually get a haircut. So the guy that does my hair, he has his own studio. There's no one else in the building. He sanitizes everything between each person. You have to wear a mask the whole time, except when I'm doing my beard. He wears his, though, the whole time. So pretty good. I felt pretty safe. It was pretty legit. He even gave me some shots and stuff. He's pretty cool. So I'm glad that he's back into work because he can do it safely. Not everyone has that, doesn't have the ability to do that, but man, it was actually a really cool experience to sit there for like an hour and get it all done and hang out and talk, and it was pretty cool. And he's booked, so. And what's cool is when I do it, we automatically book mine for the next couple weeks or whatever, so I'm already set, so I don't have to worry about he's going to be busy or whatever. So I don't know. It was pretty cool. So that's like the one thing I've stepped out of the comfort zone really doing, except for hanging out with my family and like one other person.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Besides all that, I mean, everything of course is going on in the world right now. It's interesting seeing the news. I'm glad, now the focus seems to be a lot more on, of course, the peaceful protests. I'm so glad it shifted away from the riots that were happening those couple of days. But I don't know. You know, that's still heavy on, I think, everyone's mind. Have you noticed channels or applications like Netflix and whatnot? They've really put a focus on Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, and I think that's fantastic because it's highlighting a lot of really fantastic movies
Oh
on
yeah,
top of everything, and TV shows. I know Netflix has a lot of what Netflix has is stuff that I've never heard of, so I'm really
yeah,
really intrigued in it.
yeah. I talked to my grandfather about he watched Just Mercy. I told him he should definitely check it out, and he was blown away. He was shocked. It's one of those things where he was just in a different generation, where they have some of they just have a different mindset. And when you say this thing has been happening, they've seen it, but it's been so skewed for them because you go to school learning one thing back then. It's not what people know right now. You know what I mean? Like, so anyway, showed him this, showed him whatever, showed him what's really happening. He grew up north, not down south. And I don't know. So anyway, it was eye opening for him, and it really made him think. So I'm glad that they're putting all of that work out there on for everyone to see. It's everywhere. You can't hide from it. I think that's an amazing thing. But yeah, so there's been some really cool things like that, and I'm glad that a lot of these companies are focusing on that, and they're I haven't seen any gross things like too many people trying to profit off it or something like that. It's really been like, hey, here's this important thing. Pay attention to this. We'll come back and do our other stuff at another time. So I don't know. That's been really cool to see.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been fun to see the difference between companies that have been sometimes literally putting their money where their mouth is, and some that are like, hey, here's a statement, and that's it.
I thought what Bungie did you see the Destiny 2?
I didn't. No.
Okay, so so this week they had the big Destiny announcement. We might talk about that a little bit later. We'll talk about that later. I'll look up the information. They've basically put out a map for the next 3 years, and they go over. But before they do all of this, they put the clock at 8 minutes and what is it, 8:46?
8:56, I think.
Yeah, they put the clock on that, and they let it count down, and it's a moment of silence. And at the same time, they're giving you information. They're giving you links and whatnot to donate to Black Lives Matters and other charities and whatnot, other programs. And it's a kind of to make you like sit there and for you to sit there with them for that long, just so you know how long that actually is.
Yeah.
And it was pretty powerful. I thought it was. And then, of course, they went into the program. Now, I believe they taped the program way before this happened, so they kind of talk about just as being crazy times for COVID. But
right.
I thought that was a really powerful way to open it up. They were not shy about it. They put it right out there, and they gave all the information they do, and it was crazy.
Nice.
So anyway, I thought it was good.
Yeah, and you were right. It was 8:46. You're right.
Yep. So anyway, but yeah, so that was cool for them to do. I imagine a lot of other companies are going to be doing the same thing. But yeah, have you been playing anything, watching anything?
I'm just kind of. I know we were gonna do The Last of Us to get geared up for part 2, but
yeah,
I couldn't dive into anything post-apocalyptic right now. It just wasn't working for me. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
I've just kind of been kicking around. I've been watching. I rewatched because I watched Just Mercy the other day.
Yeah.
And damn, that movie just kicks you in the ass. Like it's a hell of a movie. I rewatched Marshall in a similar vein. Marshall's a fantastic movie if anybody hasn't seen it. And I rewatched Selma.
Okay.
Which did not get the love it deserved by a long shot. I'm glad it won. It won the Oscar for best song for the anthem that Common made for it, which it deserved, no doubt. But it should have gotten more than that. It's another really really powerful piece.
Yeah.
But was watching. I can't remember what
I've
else
seen
I
that
watched.
one, but I don't think I've seen Marshall.
Marshall's really good. It's Chadwick Boseman as a young Thurgood Marshall, and
Oh, okay.
it's similar to Just Mercy in that it's a black lawyer with a client in a civil rights case, and but they're different. They're different films because Marshall is very much a biopic. It's very much about Thurgood Marshall, and it just happens to be like they picked this particular time to tell that story. Whereas Just Mercy isn't really about the characters, it's about the story. It's about it's about the setting and the message as opposed to being specifically a character piece. So it's not, and none of this is a knock in any way, shape, or form. It's not quite the same level of deep and impactful because it's not. They're telling the story about the man and how he came up. And and again, it was just the time was important, but with Just Mercy, it's about no, we're going to tell you about this thing. We're going to tell you about this situation, about this scenario, and we're going to make you feel this and understand this. But it's good. It's very good. It's just a different kind of tone to it.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Marshall was a really, really good movie.
Yeah. I'll check that out. Yeah, I see it's on Amazon, so
there you go.
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I mean it's Chadwick Boseman. I mean, come on now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I actually restarted Watchmen.
There you go.
Everything going on in Tulsa, it's a little different watching it right now. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'll bet.
It's crazy. I won't get into it about what's currently in the news about Tulsa, but yeah, I don't know. It's wild to see. It's wild to see. I don't know. I can't really put into words, but I've been watching that, so I've watched the first couple episodes of that again. But yeah, man. I've been playing Overwatch. I've been playing a ton of Overwatch with some friends. It's been really fun. We play that about every night, and Call of Duty with my little brother, my buddy. That's been fun. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit. The expansion, this new season that came out, that added a ton of stuff. Like,
has the patch finished downloading yet?
Oh yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. On the PC, it took 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it was
download 80 gigabytes.
but it was also a different size on PS4.
Oh, I imagine. It's different for PC. You have way different.
But that's what was so weird because it was different on Xbox also. Like they were all different sizes from what I had seen. Like the Xbox patch was, I think the Xbox and the PC
weird.
patch was the same, where it was like 80 gigabytes, but the PS4 patch was like 32 or something.
That's very odd.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know the PC was. I assumed the PC was bigger just because of what a PC can do. I assumed they had to
probably.
I don't know, put more stuff into it. But it was. Yeah, my buddy. We downloaded at the same time. He's like, yeah, I started it. 5-10 minutes later, I was done, and he's like, it's not even like 10% done yet downloading it. I'm like already done downloading, installing. Because I think PlayStation is just, what do you call it? They're throttling it for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone trying to download it at once. So, but it is a lot of fun. They have like random events within the war zone, where it's called like, I think it's called like a breakout. And so anyone that's died in the game will suddenly be able to come back.
Okay.
And I think that's a way to encourage people from not just dropping. So like, let's say you're doing quads, a team of 4 people jumping in, and let's say me and you are in it and 2 strangers. Well, if one of the strangers dies, they might not think we'll resurrect them, and they might just dip out of the game. So then it's just 3 of us, or possibly it's usually just 2 of us at the end of it because it's me and you playing together. I think what this does is it gets them an incentive to stay on, to kind of hang out a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool. It's just called Breakout or whatever. It's Jailbreak, and suddenly everybody's back in the game.
Interesting.
Yeah. They've added a ton of new blueprints, some new guns. There's like different bounties out there. And then of course it's got the 100 tiers of, there's like a couple new operators, definitely new skins. One guy looks like Castro, just straight up like Castro. They're really leaning into the Cold War stuff. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. And I believe that they said that, people are expecting the map sometime in the season, the new map. So that's not ready out the gate, but they tease it in the trailer, and we should be seeing that in the next couple of weeks, I imagine. But it's been fun. It's a ton of fun with that. Yeah. I played a little bit of Splatoon 2 again.
Okay.
Which was pretty fun. Yeah, I know. Just one of my friends was like, hey, I want to play this. Just check it out. And I was like, I used to have it. I don't have it anymore, but I remember it being fun. So I got it, and it's been pretty fun. But yeah, man, that's basically what I've been playing. That's what I've been doing. Oh, and Avatar, of course. I'm on the second season now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm still going through that. I'm still enjoying the hell out of it. What's the big flying dog's name?
Appa. He's a bison.
Appa.
It's a flying bison.
Bison, that's it. Yeah, I was going to say Appa. Well, he kind of acts like a dog.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sorry, but yeah. And I keep thinking of the dog, or dragon dog from Neverending Story.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, I'm on the episode where like it looks like he's dead. I'm sure he's not dead, but he's sucked into the sand or something. So I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. He's got the one girl has joined their adventure. She's the blind one who does the earth bending.
Yeah, Toph. Toph's a badass.
Yeah, she's cool. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. My problem is I always try to watch it right before I go to sleep, and of course I'm super tired.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up and then have to go back 3 episodes. But I got a couple days coming up off, so I plan on knocking it out then. But yeah, so it's been fun. But yeah. So anyway, let's get into some news.
Yeah, let's do the assorted stuff, and then we'll do the PS5 last, because I think that's gonna be pretty much the whole time.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because it's a couple of little side things. Did you see that they bumped Tenet 2 weeks?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's gonna drop July 31st now instead of July 14th.
Oh, okay.
In its place, though, interestingly enough, they are re-releasing Inception into theaters.
Oh, wow. In theaters?
Yeah.
Are theaters open?
Some are, and chains are starting to move towards, getting open around, like, the second week in July, it looks like.
Okay, gotcha.
So the plan seemed to be open in time for Tenet.
Okay.
And now it's moved a couple weeks, but I think the plan is still be open middle of July.
Okay.
It's kind of up in the air. I know AMC has had, like, you've seen the investor call notes where it was like, yeah, we're going to be open around the world in July. It's like, okay, well, that's mildly vague, but okay.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a thing from, like, Regal. Like, I haven't seen anything at all. And I've looked.
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of keeping their head down and seeing where the chips fall and everything. And that's fine. It's their business. They can do what they want.
Yeah.
But I know some, like, smaller, privately owned, like, independent theaters are open. And also Marquee. Marquee is actually open in the locations it has. But I mean, and everybody's doing different things in terms of cleanliness and spacing and what have you. But it's going to be interesting to see when that becomes a more, like, once you start seeing, like, the big chains open up again in states where they can. I know here in North Carolina, what are we in, phase 2 now? The earliest a theater could be open is when we hit phase 3, which would be June. I think that's not for another, like, 2 weeks. I think it's like the 26th.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think theaters, even if they wanted to, they couldn't be open before then anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's interesting, and we'll see what happens. But I imagine most theaters around the country that are allowed to on a state by state basis are going to be open by middle of July.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, and that's going to be interesting, and that'll be a whole thing to get used to. And just a whole nother bunch of customers. What do you mean I have to sit here? Get out. Just go away. I don't have time for this shit. Just leave.
Yeah.
People who thought I was a pain when it came to seating and theater discipline before. They're really not. Like, there could be so many complaints because I'm just not having it. I'm just not. But we'll see what's what, and we'll see. Another part of that's going to be whether or not obviously I can't actually do anything like that, but without the backing of the higher ups, which probably won't want to rock the boat. So who knows? I may be looking for another job, but we'll see. My plan is just, here are the rules. We're trying to keep people safe and not have people get sick and die. And if you don't like that, get out. I don't think that's a hard concept, honestly.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
But
I did see that, and a lot of people were confused. I think they read this headline and then they just ran with it and didn't actually read the article. But I did see that HBO, with everything that's going on, they pulled Gone with the Wind to, I guess they're going to bring it back to add some sort of disclaimer ahead of it with some historical content.
Right.
To kind of say, hey, this was a product of its time. It doesn't depict. I think I believe they did this with the Looney Tunes DVDs, where they were like, hey, this has a lot of stuff in it that wasn't good back then and it's not good now. And, times, I forget the exact verbiage.
It was basically something like, this wasn't, this is something that's.
Oh, I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah, it says this was for the Looney Tunes. The cartoons you're about to see are products of their time. They may depict some of the ethnic and racial prejudices that are commonplace in American society. These were wrong then and are wrong today. While these cartoons do not represent today's society, they're being presented as they were originally created. Because otherwise would not be the same as claiming that these prejudices never existed.
Yeah.
So that's what they put in front of the news. I imagine they'll put something in front of this, just basically saying these are product of their time. It's important to not edit it. Like, I guess Disney's edited some things, but I guess they're putting a disclaimer on, and I think that's the best. That's a win-win for everybody, right?
Right, because it's something that's also already out there other places.
Yeah.
Like, you could just go buy a DVD Gone with the Wind.
Absolutely.
It's stupid it's stupid to either ignore it or just try to sweep it under the rug. You have to address it head on. You have to say, look, we get it, this is awful and it's terrible, but it's out there other places, but here on our particular service where we feel responsible for this, we're going to have the responsible action.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest movies of all time. So I it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The people that are screaming about, it's not going anywhere. Gone with the Wind will always be here. It's always a film that, it's a classic, even though it does have a lot of bad stereotypes in it. It's not going anywhere. So I think this is great. They put it in front of it, give some context. That's what it needs, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was a pretty smart move on their part. They were doing some other things as well, like HBO is dropping HBO's Now name. I couldn't clarify this, but I think they're just calling it HBO and HBO Max.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, whatever that means, I don't know. I'm still confused. Like I said, I use a family member's account, and I'm pretty sure they just have HBO with their cable provider, but somehow we get Max. So whatever that's called. Okay, maybe it's just called HBO if you get it separately, but not the Max version.
Yes, I think that's...
Okay.
Because HBO, if you have HBO through your cable provider, you should also be able to access HBO Max.
Yep, that's what we use.
Yeah, so that's how that should work, I think.
But I guess if you want HBO separately and you don't want the Max version, you can get that version. It's just called HBO. So I'm sure down the road this will mean nothing. People will just remember it as this, whatever they're going to be calling it. But right now, I'm like, huh? What am I? So yeah. What else? There was some other AT&T news.
Oh, they are trying to sell Warner Brothers Interactive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're trying to spin off their video game development arm because AT&T loves to buy things and then kill off whatever they don't think makes them money. So they're trying, and it's very just in talks, like a very, very preliminary, like this is a thing they're considering doing kind of deal. And everybody wants a piece of this. Take-Two, EA, Activision. I think.
So it's Warner Brothers Interactive, right?
Yes, it's strictly the video game side of things.
I mean, dude, that's huge.
Yeah,
you're talking everything from DC Comics to Harry Potter,
Lord of the Rings,
The Matrix,
Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat's a big one for them. I think even the Rock Band games or the Lego games are
the Lego games. Yeah, Rock Band game is Harmonix.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But
think about the possibility though of these teams and these licenses opening up some, because
don't go to EA.
Right? No kidding. My first thought was, and maybe even the studios get broken down. You know, maybe not everybody wants the whole basket, because I think EA is at least thinking that, you know, price tag wise, maybe $4 billion for all of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that get broken down, and maybe just some licensing deals, because, you know, AT&T owning Time Warner owns the licenses to a lot of these properties, so they're still going to want their cut. But I think my first thought when I heard this, because I saw Activision Blizzard listed, my first thought was, what if they did a Diablo-style Lord of the Rings game?
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be badass.
Absolutely.
Like
is CD Projekt Red under Warner Brothers?
No, they've been published through Warner Brothers, but I don't think they're owned by Warner Brothers.
That's what it is. Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077 is published through Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but it's not at least I don't. I'm pretty sure they're independent. Okay,
yeah. I was looking at the Wikipedia and I saw that game listed and I was like, what?
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Yeah, they're their own company.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I could totally see people just wanting to pick this up, especially Harry Potter. I have no idea why they haven't tapped into Harry Potter. I know there's been Harry Potter games, but I mean like a big one. A brand new adventure, nothing to do with the movies, that, I don't know, something like The Witcher, but with Harry Potter. I could see kids eating that up. Everyone eating that up, actually.
Sure, if you know,
a big
give
RPG. Dude, you could do a Persona game like Harry Potter. God. Or I don't. You don't think so?
I'm
like
just
in the school in Hogwarts, and you got to plan out your semesters, and you got to make sure you get to class, and you have all these things you got to do. You don't think so?
In a way, I think it's.
You played more Persona than I did, so
it's a stretch. It's.
I would love a Harry Potter JRPG.
I would look. I'm down for a JRPG set in that world.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or even like a Fire Emblem type game with Harry Potter.
Now you're talking. That I could see. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just something different, because I think all the games that I've seen were like very much like the old Lord of the Rings, which I loved the old Lord of the Rings games that kind of followed the movie. They're very actiony.
Yeah.
But like I want to get outside of that.
Right.
And I think Harry Potter would be a ton of fun to do that with. Make it whimsical, make it fun, make it a big open world to explore. I think it'd be cool.
I think so, but yeah, I agree. They need to. It needs to be branched out for sure.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Cool.
Do Quidditch 2K21. Like, I don't get this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that would be hilarious, and I think that could be done. I think that would be entertaining. Really.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, dude, a whole standalone Quidditch game, I would totally play that.
Because, I mean, they had one a while back, but it was me. Like, I mean, it was
Yeah.
fine, but it was definitely one where they were just like, there's not a Quidditch game, quick, let's make one.
Right. Is there a Harry Potter VR game? Because that would be fun.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
You got your wand, you're going around Hogwarts,
Yeah.
you're opening up stuff. Whatever. I don't know all the verbiage, but he had the map about, like, you can see the footsteps and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
Marauders map. Yeah,
Like,
there's
cool.
there are plenty of opportunities. There's absolutely no question. But
yeah. Did you see that the Star Wars game was leaked?
yeah, what's it called? It's just called Squadrons, right?
Squadrons, yeah.
Yeah.
And official reveal coming June 15th, which is Monday.
Monday, yeah, Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific, which is 11 a.m. Eastern, which is what, 5 o'clock British time,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and this was the game we've been talking about. That's a much smaller game, so set your expectations. It's going to be probably like a TIE Fighter X-Wing game. That's what it looks like. And I imagine it's just going to be probably a online only. Just you jump into a match and you fly around and, pick a team or whatever.
And
I
since
imagine it's something like that. I probably might, maybe not even single player, but that would be a great surprise.
I think I'm hoping here, because I remember this is still EA making these games, but I'm hoping that
Well, from what I remember in articles, I can't quote everything because I don't have it in front of me, but I remember hearing that basically EA was like, we want something quick, put it out there, don't focus on story, or whatever they were going to do. They're like, we need something by the end of the year because we're not going to have Battlefront. And so this, I think, was their compromise to do a Star Wars game, but they had to sacrifice a lot to make it small.
yeah.
So it would be a great surprise. I would love it if they're like, oh, it's got a story mode. And then again, now that I think about it, maybe EA learned its lesson, one of its many lessons, that people want a story mode in these games. So hopefully they do. Maybe there's a story mode. If not, I would set expectations to a online, dogfighting game with X-Wing and TIE Fighters, which sounds fun. That's still fun. But
that sounds fun for a free-to-play game, not for a $60 title like they're going to give us.
I agree. I would, if it is just a jump in and have multiplayer battles, I hope they set it at the very most $40. It can't be a full price game if it's just that. But then again, it's Star Wars. Who knows? Just we're waiting for Monday.
EA. All I have to say to EA is look at it. Apex Legends is free, right?
Yes.
Okay. The prosecution rests, Your Honor. Like,
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. Okay. You're absolutely right. What if they did? I always jump back to Warzone and, like you said, Apex Legends,
right?
And things like Fortnite, where it's like just throw out a season pass, and suddenly you got people with all different ships, all different coats of paint, and it's stuff they unlocked throughout the season.
Right.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
And correct me if I'm wrong. What publisher is it that actually owns Apex Legends?
They did Titanfall.
Yeah, it's
EA, right? No, they left EA.
No, they're still EA.
Oh, they're still EA. What's their name?
You look for it. It's not is it Respawn? Is that who I'm looking for?
It's Respawn. That's it. Yeah. Bingo. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that would be cool if they said, "Hey, there's a free Star Wars game at the end of the year." Sold, free. But if it is free, I imagine there would just be a season pass or something where they're like, "Hey, it's kind of like Fortnite. It's free, but if you want to throw $10, for a season pass to get all this cool stuff, you can do it. Or hey, you can just play for free."
Yeah.
That's that. Yep, absolutely. That'd be fun. So we'll see Monday, but. It was Xbox that accidentally leaked that, so I'm curious if it'll have crossplay. It's got to, right? Any multiplayer game right now has to be crossplay.
I think pretty much anymore, yeah.
That'll be fun.
I think crossplay is a war that's over now. Like you just have to.
Yeah, games like The Division are still not on board yet, but that I think that was right at that sweet spot where not the sweet spot, but the spot where it's like, oh, we're too late. But anything now I think has to be crossplay.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to look good when it comes out. What else? Yeah, no, I think that's was it about Star Wars?
Yeah. In similar Warner Brothers related news, DC is not publishing through or not distributing through Diamond anymore.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, because Diamond was like they were basically the game for comics publishing, right?
Yeah,
or distributing. I keep saying publishing.
I need to ask Aaron. I know a lot of shops that are simply not ordering any more DC books, except if they are, except if someone puts it on their list to come and pick it up.
Really?
Yeah, because of the distributors they're going through. They're basically going through a competitor.
Fair enough.
They're I think it's Midtown Comics, if I'm not mistaken.
It says here they're using Lunar Distribution and UCS comic distributors for their weeklies.
Isn't one of them owned by? Hold on.
They might be. This is just what I was able to pull off the.
It's basically one is the West Coast, one is the East Coast. That's why there's two of them.
Sure, I get that.
Yeah, Diamond Comics Distribution announced that. Okay, hold on. One of them is owned by Midtown Comics, I believe. Hold on a second.
Yeah, because I know very little about this. I knew that like Diamond was basically the game. So what you got?
USC is owned by Midtown Comics, the New York City mega chain, at least relative to what's normal to expected by comic shops. So that's why they're very. Wait a second. So we're going to be giving our competitor, who has a multi-chains all across the United States, all of our information of what our people are buying. And now we have to give them a part of the profit that we would be making.
So this company, you're saying Midtown isn't just a distributor; it's also a chain of comic shops.
Yeah, Midtown Comics. It's mostly known for the one in New York, but they have multiple ones all over the country.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So it's kind of like if McDonald's was distributing burgers through Wendy's, I guess, if that makes sense.
I get.
It's very weird that
if mom and pop shops had to get their, it's basically like if mom and pop shops had to get their ground beef through McDonald's, is what you're saying.
Exactly, and it's also throwing off a lot of deals that they used to get because. I think everything is now thrown off, where they would get a certain percentage off of the book that they purchased through Marvel, because they would get it all through the same person. So if you ordered this amount of this book, and this book, they would get a certain discount. Well, now DC's not a part of it, so you're not ordering as much books through them. And so it's I don't know. I'll come back next week with more information once I look up more. But from what I understand, there's a lot of local comic book shops that are not happy with this, and essentially they won't order it unless a customer requests it.
Damn. Yeah, fair enough.
Which is terrible if you think about it. That's going to shake a lot of things up with the comic book industry, especially if you walk into a shop and you don't see a DC comic on the wall.
Well, you're
going to see, and from what I understand, there are shops some of these shops that I've heard on YouTube and whatnot, they're basically going to get the same amount of Marvel books because they of course sell, but they're going to increase their Image books on their wall.
There you go.
So I think we're going to see a rise on indie books in these comic shops, which might be a good thing. But man, it's just DC. I want them to do good, and over the last year or so, they've had some really bad press with some of the decisions they've made. They completely scrapped the whole 5G thing, which was a terrible concept to begin with, and I don't know what they're thinking with this, except for they saw the opportunity to remove Diamond and they took it. So it's going to be interesting. This is just another push towards digital for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I want physical. I love this is one. I can have my digital video games, the digital movies, but this to me is more of a physical artwork that I like than a visual. I love looking on my iPad stuff, but there's something to it holding it in your hands and looking at the art when it comes to this. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man screaming in the clouds with this. But that's one format I don't want to go away. I want the physical copy.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, even looking at the Venom book that I have, looking at it digitally, looking at it right there in your hands, it's just so different. I don't know, it's popping or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man. So that sucks, but hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully it's not a disaster. So if you have a local comic book shop near you, just make sure you talk to the person there, see what they're doing, put the stuff on the list you want to read. The Batman, the White Knight, and all that stuff that's coming out that people are excited for.
Yeah. I just like I said, like I knew very, very little about this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw that Denny O'Neil passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, 81 years old. He's famously wrote a lot of Batman books.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was terrible news.
That sucks.
He did a lot of Green Arrow. I think he famously did the...
He did the Green Arrow, Green Lantern, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I believe he's the one who did the arc where Speedy does heroin.
I think, yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, yeah, is incredible writer. It's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, god damn. He did Batman off and on for like 30 years, Jesus.
Oh yeah.
He had one big run that lasted for what looks like 100 issues. Good night.
Yeah, and it was different back then because now you can do 100 issues because you get Batman twice a month now. So back then it was once a month. So it was a very long time. Yeah. Also, I saw that they announced Star Wars is gonna do a From Another Point of View book with The Empire Strikes Back.
I had seen that. Yeah.
Interesting. So there's a ton of authors in it. Too many to kind of name. Michael Morrissey. I know Gary Whitta is doing one. Tracy Dion. I'm looking at this page. Austin Walker from Giant Bomb is doing one.
Okay.
He's contributing to a story, which is crazy. I mean, I remember he does podcasts about video games. It's just really cool to see him jump into something like that. Gary Whitta, like I said. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. The first one was pretty awesome. The audiobook was neat. So this should be fun too. And of course, that is just going to tell basically stories about people in The Empire Strikes Back, but you're going to see it from a different point of view of what the movie was doing. So you might see it from one of the characters. You're going to be in their head while a scene goes down. So
yeah,
I thought that was neat and awesome. So we'll see. Any other? There was some Comic-Con news, right?
Yeah, SDCC, of course, was canceled earlier this year. You can still order your tickets for Star Wars Celebration, though. But
yeah, oh my god,
they are doing a virtual version of Comic-Con, which will be free online to everybody from July 22nd through the 26th. I've no idea what it all entails, but cool. Like that's
awesome.
Neat. Yeah,
everybody gets to go. I imagine there's just going to be a ton of panels. Live panels where you can probably interact with a lot of them. They'll probably do where you can ask questions and stuff like that. I imagine like any internet chat, it's going to be disgusting, so you probably just turn it off anyway and enjoy the content.
Yeah.
But that's what I imagine they'll do. They'll probably raise money. I know you can do super chats with YouTube and stuff like that, so they might do like, hey, if you pay $10, you can ask a question, and of course they'll probably filter it to make sure that it's good.
Sure, yeah.
But if I was them, I would do that. I would just do a charity thing. It's like, hey, if you donate to ask a question, you might get it asked, you might not, but it's all going to charity anyway. So, but I don't know if they're doing that. I shouldn't even say that. I don't know if they're doing that, but that's what I imagine.
Yeah, that would be a neat idea.
That would be cool. So I imagine these are just going to be a bunch of panels for comics, movies, TV shows. There are going to be a ton of trailers, like always with Comic-Con. That's what I imagine they'll be doing.
Yeah.
Which is neat. So I'll be tuned in. I'm sure you'll check in or at some time too. But we'll definitely be talking about it, whatever they announce, whatever they do that week. But yeah, dude, 22nd through the 26th, that's gonna be fun. I hope that they get a lot of there's a lot of channels that I watch, Comic Pop and the Comic Historian and Comics Explained. I would love to see them. They should get some of those people involved in it. They're so used to doing this on this platform. It'd be cool to see them kind of host some of that.
Nice.
To try to get some of the people that are big in that space kind of involved, because they already have that built-up community with it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be kind of neat.
That would be, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm sure they'll announce some big Marvel event or DC event there. But yeah. Yeah, because I mean, the 5G was supposed to be around this time of year, and they just scrapped it. So I think they're probably getting ready for whatever Snyder's doing. The metal. I don't know. He's doing one of the
Yeah. Isn't it? What is it? Is it death metal?
I think it's death metal. Yeah. It's supposed to be like a gigantic. They always say that it's going to change everything, but. Yeah. Scott Snyder's been pretty good at he's been pretty good at, hey, pay attention to this is important, and it usually is. So, I don't know, we'll see.
No, he does his thing and writes his stories, and if the company wants to overhype the hell out of it, then so be it. But he's never bought into that. Yeah, no. He's like, and they basically talked around the idea of, I'm pretty sure he was not on board for 5G. He was one of the writers, I think, that was not happy about it, because he was like, no, I'm doing this other thing. And so I think they made their decision what they were going to go with. He talked around it, but he was just like, this is going to wrap a lot of things together. And it kind of, I mean, they've hinted, I don't know if you've read, DC and Marvel for the last year have hinted at a crossover. Yeah, there have been little things off and on and back and forth, especially on Twitter. There's been a lot of hey, remember Amalgam? Hey, remember Justice League versus the Avengers? Remember just here and there little tiny things. And they straight up have the Justice League in one of the Thor comics. They're just streaks, and they talk about one is a god of the sun. The other one is the darkest of nights. And they're straight up in the comic, and they talk about how there is going to be a green Goliath is going to save the Man of Steel. And so they're doing it. Yeah. And I think that was, there was part of that in Metal, wasn't it? Or something where it was absolutely, because it was the plague of the Blackest Night. And it was because that was when they fell. That was their whole thing. And, so I think this coming up one, essentially, I don't know, his villain in Justice League has to do with what's outside of the DC universe, the wall, going outside of it. Right. And what is it? The Source Wall, I think, is that Source Wall? That yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited. I usually love all of Scott Snyder's stuff especially the big event stuff. His run on Batman was one of, if not the best runs for me that I've ever read. I haven't read a lot of the good ones just because they're older and I just haven't read them. But his run on it was phenomenal. But anyway, looking forward to Comic-Con. That's going to be pretty fun. I'm going to be tuning that up when I'm working and see what I can catch. Yeah, it's definitely... I shouldn't say that. But yeah. It's definitely an interesting way to do it, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. I think that's it for now. I think Daniel Radcliffe officially wrote Harry Potter. I saw something on the internet about that. I don't know if you've seen anything. It's a whole... that was... just, Jesus. But anyway... what are you going to do when somebody who turns out to not have a fantastic grasp of, right, all that kind of stuff just keeps... trans rights are human rights. Amen. So try and, what's the phrase? Enjoy the art, not the artist, or something. Yeah. Yeah. Be able to separate them. That's it. That's the one. Separate the art from the artist. Yeah, because Harry Potter is going to be here a long time after we are,
and the stories and everything resonate with a lot of people. So I'm sure a lot of people will also pick up those stories and do their own thing with it and kind of get away from that. I don't know. That was a disaster on Twitter. But I'm glad Radcliffe actually stood up and said something, though.
Well, so and that was the thing. A lot of the cast have come out and just kind of said, "Look, no."
Yeah.
That's not us. That's wrong.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Is there any other news besides the PlayStation 5 stuff?
Not that I could find. Anybody trying to buy a Ring Fit Adventure is consistently out of luck. It's never.
Well, right.
It's in stock for like 30 seconds in places. I'm just like, why in the hell is this so hard to find?
Are Switches still hard to find?
Sometimes. I know they just restocked somewhere yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
But I think they're probably out of stock by now. But I mean, I've, it's like, oh, hey, Ring Fit Adventure's on sale at Best Buy. And it's like, I get it in my cart and I go to check out and it's like, yeah, this isn't a thing anymore.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
Like, damn, it happens on Amazon all the time, too. But
damn.
It's wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But okay, I mean, I guess we could just jump into the PlayStation news. They had a big event this week to kind of go over the PlayStation 5. We've seen the controller. We saw that for about a month or so now. I don't know how long it's been, but should we bury the lead or should we jump into what the console looks like, or do you want to talk about the games first?
We'll start with that because it also leads to the big thing of like we still don't have a price.
Yeah, we still don't have a price, which
we saw some leaks.
Right, we were all hoping that we would get a price, but I think it might be the best decision to not announce a price. So many people in America are unemployed right now, and obviously we're just America, we're not the world, but I imagine they don't want to drop a price right now because a lot of people are thinking about paying their electric and keeping the lights on,
right,
and not about a video game box, so sorry, but so I imagine they're not, though. That will be later down the road, hopefully in a few months, maybe September, if they plan on releasing it this year. My guess is they'll announce a price September or so. If we're not getting the console until next year, they'll probably just wait. But did they say? They didn't even say the holiday this year, right?
No, it just said this year. I know we're all expecting holiday because it will be holiday, but
I don't know. They removed holiday 2020 from their website, from what I understand.
Yeah, but they've got a lot of the games that they showed had holiday 2020 release dates.
But a lot of the games are both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. For example, Spider-Man.
I didn't see PS4 on that logo anywhere. I only saw PlayStation 5. Now, that's not to say it won't be, because of course it will be. But I think the whole idea is that it's supposed to be a PS5 launch title thing, right? Whatever you want to call it. Because I'm not even sold that that's a full sequel. I think it's more along the lines of it's an expansion of sorts, not DLC, but bigger.
From what I understand, they had to correct it because they apparently this morning they came out and said it was going to be more like how they did, for example, Persona Royale, where it was the game but plus an expansion on top of it that added a bunch of stuff, and it was like a big it was a bigger, better version of it with all this stuff added. And then Sony officially came out later and was like, wait a second. It's more like Lost Legacy, where it is a sequel.
That's what I was looking for.
It's not as big as Spider-Man 2, because I don't think anyone expected Spider-Man 2 to come out this year.
No, no.
But this is a way for them to, like, hey, we have the New York, we have this world, we have everything right here at our fingertips. Let's, we can do maybe a little bit of a smaller game on smaller scope, but it's still going to be a Spider-Man game, and it's going to star Miles Morales. Now, I wish Spider-Man 2 was Miles Morales. Miles Morales deserves the big second game, or whatever the next game is. I hope that maybe in Spider-Man 2 it's hey, you can play both of them. I'm sure you will. But this one looks like it's all Miles Morales, which is awesome. So yeah, man, I'm curious. What do you think is going to be in it? Do you think we'll see Venom? Do you think what do you think this one's going to be about?
I couldn't tell you, because I don't know what they were showing. I don't know what those bad guys were supposed to be.
Yeah,
I
yeah, they look
don't.
like they're like robots almost, or they had like tech suits on.
Yeah. So I wonder if maybe that's something to do with um. Oh, I completely forgot the guy's name.
Well, I guess
What?
don't spoil it because I think we talked about this last time. I haven't finished the
No,
last
it's
one.
not. No, I'm
Okay,
not. I'm
okay.
just thinking. The guy who did the Spider Slayers in the comics and everything, was it Stryker? I think. Is that who
Uh,
I'm looking for? Smythe. No, Smythe. That's it.
okay.
I'm wondering if maybe that's some of his tech or if it's something to do with Electro.
Well, that
Maybe.
makes sense.
I'm not
That
sure,
makes sense. Yeah.
but I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious because yeah, those did not
Yeah.
look. I couldn't place them. So I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like wintertime. Um, it looked cool.
Oh,
It,
it looks badass. It
I
looks
wish they
fantastic.
would have opened with that.
I so do I, but I
Yeah,
understand why they didn't. Um,
yeah,
we'll talk about that. Let's remember, Rockstar has put out one game this generation, and it was Red Dead Redemption 2.
yeah.
That's something to think about. GTA 5 was a last gen game. And
Oh,
now
wow, that's true.
it came out because it came out September of 2013, which was ahead of the current of what's now the current gen consoles,
Yeah,
and it didn't come out on those until November of 2014. So
yeah,
with the PS4 and Xbox, what are we on now? One had a full completely lost my train of thought on that. Have had a full year before GTA
right,
5 was ported to those systems.
right.
And now GTA 5 is going to have a launch version on PlayStation 5. Grand Theft Auto has had one game for an entire generation.
Which is wild.
That is insane.
Yeah,
And Rockstar has only made one game for this generation
right.
because LA Noire was previous generation. Everything else that's come out has been remasters or ports. Basically, really, they've just been ports. The old GTA's have been, are now backwards compatible, and things like Manhunt and Bully and the Warriors were, what was it, PS2 classics on PS4, whatever branding that was.
Yeah,
They've made one game. This entire generation, they made one game.
yeah. I believe I saw something recent. Maybe I can find the articles, but I do remember seeing the people from Rockstar stating that they plan on releasing a lot more games next generation.
But I mean, here's the thing: when you hit home runs all the time,
Yeah.
let them ride. And they've been doing that, and that's not to say they've just put them out in the wild and let them go. Grand Theft
Well,
GTA Online has been a constantly evolving service that they've
the
worked on.
the the problem I have is that they have focused entirely on GTA Online because it is a shark. It's all the or they use shark cards. I don't mean to say that, but it is all it does is people throw their money at it. So obviously, I think that's why they don't have it. Their expansions are all online based, if that makes sense.
Sure.
It's all heists and stuff like that. They didn't have a true expansion pack to it, and that's why I don't think we saw another GTA's because they're like everyone's still spending money on this thing. They're modding the heck out of it. They're spending a ton of money. Let's just ride this out, and I think that's what they've been doing. And the only other game they worked on was the Red Dead, but I hope that's not like I don't want that every generation. Because if I'm not interested in the game they come out with, then I'm not going to see another Rockstar game for another generation.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in Red Dead. I know that I know I would not finish that game ever. So I'm like, okay, well, this whole generation I didn't play anything Rockstar really. I want the new GTA, and I feel like we're never going to see it until. But yeah, apparently they did say that GTA 6 is coming, but I don't know.
It'll be here in like 3 years.
Yeah. So I don't know. When they opened up with that, it did take a little bit of the air out of the tire for me. I was like, oh, GTA. We're opening up with the PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You open up with Spider-Man. You open up with Miles. That's how you do it. It's the biggest selling game on Sony's console ever.
Yeah, it's their biggest.
That's how you.
Yeah,
God,
like
that's what they should have done. I feel like they screwed that up a little bit.
I think that would have been a way better way to open the hype, and then and then have a couple others or whatever, and then as you do like those little teases, like the Project Athia or whatever it was that Square Enix had. I think it was Project Athia. And then you do a couple of those, and then have your GTA 5 thing of like, oh, hey, and by the way, you know how much you love playing this game? You're still going to be able to do it on PS5. In fact, we're going to have more perks for you, because if you're a PS4 player, you get $1 million in GTA cash each month. And GTA Online will be free for all PS5 owners. And
absolutely.
It's like, that's cool. And it's a 30-second spot in the middle of the show to kind of... It's a small pop. And it's not how you open a show. That's I wasn't crazy about that. I didn't hate it, but they should have opened with Spider-Man for sure.
Right. Usually Sony's very good about how they plan these things out, or they have been the last couple of years. Right?
Yeah, this was a misstep. I think it wasn't like it didn't kill the show, but it was just a little bit of a bummer.
Right. This is just us playing backseat. Monday. What is it? What do they call it?
Monday morning quarterbacking. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure they spent a ton of time thinking about where to put everything, and I guarantee you, Rockstar threw them a ton of money to open it up with this. But yeah. So I once I saw the Miles, I'm glad that was the next thing. I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm in already, but like this is what I came here to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. What else? They got Gran Turismo?
Yeah, they showed Gran Turismo 7, which, cool.
It's got cars.
It's got the big high performance, and I mean, that's fine. It's
what
why
you think.
Yeah, it's why I don't like Forza, but I play Forza Horizon. I like the arcadey kind of feeling games. I don't like the simulation, more intense race. Like, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
But
I'm way more arcadey with all that stuff too.
Exactly, but it's got a fan base and people buy it. So if this is what you want, then this. It looked amazing. No doubt, everything here looked fantastic. But it's like, this looked really slick and looked like it played really well. And most of those cars looked like they had massive understeer problems. But that's how it goes. So a new, because I know the last one was Gran Turismo Sport, I think, or something like that. But now it's officially GT7. They even showed a little of the old, from the old GTA and GTA 2, the map menu.
Yeah,
I was like, that's neat. I don't know if it was in many of the later GT games, because I didn't really play them.
I didn't.
Because it just kind of lost its luster for me. But these, it looked amazing. If this is your cup of tea, go for it. This does not look like it will disappoint.
Yep.
But it'll be something.
It will definitely be something. Yeah, looks cool. Car people are gonna love that. Another game they showed, which was I loved the last one they popped out with, was the Ratchet and Clank game, Rift Apart.
Yeah, it looks like a fun platformer. I mean, Ratchet and Clank games have always just been fun platformers.
Yeah,
I've they're not mind-blowing AAA titles because they're not built to be. They are exactly what they're supposed to be, and I dig them. I think they're good.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, the last one I played surprised hell out of me. The particle stuff that they did in it was just blew my mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Still a phrase you use, but it did. It really surprised me that I got into that game when I haven't played a game like that in years. And I had a ton of fun. Beat it. Went through the whole thing. So I'm really excited about this. But yeah, looks like a ton of fun. What was the next game all about?
The next one, it's the new Square Enix. It's the next Square Enix thing. It's called Project Athia.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what it's about, really, at all. Mm-hmm. It looked very, it was very much this is a Square Enix game, which, there was a thing, and there were some big things, and I imagine you're going to fight the big things, and scene. Like that was about all we got from it, really.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's like, this is the thing we're working on, and all of us are sitting here going, why is that not the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2?
Yeah.
But no, that'll be 3 years out at least. But
right.
I don't know. This looked interesting. I'm curious to see actual stuff from it instead of a 15-second teaser. Like it told me nothing. But
and I think they kind of announced their own Animal Crossing like game called Bug Snack. Did you see that?
But no. Bug Snacks is from the Octodad people, and it's going to be even weirder. It's not going to be Animal Crossing because you're going to eat these things. You don't.
Right. That's what I'm thinking is like it's a village and you build stuff and you, or no, maybe not. Maybe I had the wrong idea. I guess.
I don't think that's what this is at all.
Oh, okay. You just go around eating bugs.
I think there's more to it than that. I mean, because at the end, I mean, they showed there is a villain. You know.
Right.
But I think there's more to it than that, really.
Okay. It looked weird. All my kind of I just like it. I was like, that looks interesting.
It's definitely going to be something. Like it's there's no doubt.
Yeah. That should be cool. But what other games do we got here?
They showed something called Stray, where you were basically a cat with a backpack in, like, it looked like something out of, what was it, the Love, Sex, Death, and Robots?
Yes.
Like that's what it looked like. And
it's Anna whatever kind of game, right?
What's Annapurna Studios, yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. It looked great. I thought it looked awesome.
It'll be interesting for sure. So we'll see. Like, again, no idea what that was. There was one sign up in the game that said no cats. So like it was like little cat head with like the circle and the line through it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe cats are fugitives.
Yeah.
In a world where, you know, poor people are now poor robots, you know, cats are Look, contraband or something. I don't know.
When it started out and it started focusing on the cat, I was like, wait, are you going to play as the cat? I hope you play as the cat. And then it was like, oh, you are the cat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But this is not like it's just a cat. It's just a cat with a little cat backpack.
Yep.
There's nothing, it's not enhanced, it doesn't speak, it's just a cat.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm in. I think it looks great.
I'll try it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Those can go a couple of different ways.
That's true. Wait for the review.
And then we saw Housemarque's next game, Returnal, which was that was somebody who was like, hey, we watched Gravity and Interstellar and then played Prey and said,
Live,
what
die,
if
repeat.
Yeah. And
that's what it reminded me of. I was like, she keeps dying.
Yeah, but it gets different each time. Like every time that was the fun point where it was different. Where it was like every time she dies, she gets a little bit more like possessed by whatever's going on.
Right.
And I was like, that's an interesting little wrinkle. But I don't know. They were like, hey, what if we took all of these and mashed them together? It's like, okay, yeah. so this is what we get with a little bit of like Death Stranding aesthetic sprinkled on.
Right.
But so I don't know. We'll see. That might be interesting. You know, given that it's a third-person shooter, though, it may just be kind of boring.
Yeah.
I always worry about those. I worry about them.
Yeah, I mean, that looks cool. What were some of the other games that we saw?
Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Yes, I wasn't expecting that, but then I guess I should have been.
Yeah, because it's not. It's also because it's not Media Molecule. It's Sumo Digital doing this one.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because Media Molecule's still doing what is it called? Dreams, right?
Yeah.
But I like that like, hey, you know, this character can still do fun things. And it, you know, it's a platformer. It had some co-op elements. Had like up to 4-player co-op. It looked like. Yeah. And that's neat. You know, cool.
Yep.
I may check that out at some point, very, very far on down the line. But I
always feel like I think they look cool, but whenever I get it, I just don't play much of it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I'm
But
like, this is awesome idea, but I just don't. I don't know. I don't dig into it as much as I would like to.
yeah, but I don't know. It was cute. I like Sackboy,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that'll be fun. Lucid showed off a game called Destruction All Stars,
Oh yeah.
which was some weird like roller derby, destruction derby, Overwatch mashup. I don't know what the hell that was.
Right. Right. Right.
It was another one of those where it was like everything shown was captured during a PS5 and it was just a cinematic trailer.
Right.
That was their big thing
Yeah.
at the start of the press conference. It's like everything shown was captured in a PS5. It's like even these CGI trailers.
Right. Right.
You know, I believe that, but kind of not the point.
Right. Exactly.
But I don't know. That didn't really look all that interesting to me, so I'll probably sit that one out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see more of it at some point. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Ember Labs had a game they showed, Kena Bridge of Spirits, which was like Pikmin meets Final Fantasy.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That looked neat. Like that kind of looked pretty cool. It was
Yeah.
cute. The little whatever the things were that followed her around, they were adorable. Like they were. Really
Yeah, they
cute.
were. There were a lot of like smaller games on here that surprised me.
Yeah.
I knew they weren't going to show a whole bunch of big ones. I knew there might be a couple they're gonna put in there, but I feel like Sony is going back to the old ways with when the PlayStation 4. I say old ways, but when the PlayStation 4 originally came out, there were a ton of games that were just smaller. We didn't have Spider-Man. We didn't have God of War. We didn't have The Last of... Well, I guess we did have Last of Us, but you know what I mean. We didn't have these big blockbuster games that took like 3 or 4 years to come out. We had a lot of smaller indie games. And that's what they packed this full of. A lot of it was smaller games that were big surprises to me. And I thought they looked great. I thought they looked cool. Yeah.
On that same stretch, the next thing they showed was Goodbye Volcano High.
That looked cool.
Which and I think this is my Persona brain talking. I got really excited for this, and I have no clue what this is at all.
Yeah,
like it was just a trailer, and it's like, and it comes in 2021. But I got really excited for this. Like this looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a pretty progressive game. I think I read an article like they're going to be dealing with they have trans characters and stuff in it. Like it's very forward thinking, and
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah, very cool.
I fucking love that. Yeah. So and the music in it, like it reminded me of, oh man, what's that game that was that episodic game that came out not too long ago?
There were a few.
It was like the high school. Oh, I can't think of it now that I'm on the spot. They did a sequel, and he was like a superhero.
Life is Strange. Yeah.
Yes, it kind of reminded me of Life is Strange.
Fair
with
enough.
dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it looked like a comic book. It looked like just a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's really cool.
And then we got the reveal of a new Oddworld game.
Yes.
And they went hard on this.
I don't think I've ever played an Oddworld game. It's
They're
been around forever.
Yeah, they're fun. They go back to PS1 days.
Yeah.
Like that's a franchise that's been on every. Well, I don't want to say every generation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's been around since the beginning because you had Exodus and you had Odyssey and I think there was another one in there somewhere. And now there's Soulstorm and they got this was dark.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Oddworld games as being like dark and hyper serious.
Well, no, I've never played them. So granted, you've played them, I haven't. But whenever I would see an ad or a trailer, I always thought they were slaves, and right, like they had like this thing on their mouth where like they couldn't speak. Or did I misread that?
You're not wrong, but it was oddly comical. And that was something they talked about. Like they mentioned like where failure is hilarious. They like to play up the comedy of it, like it was very sort of dark humor in a way.
Oh, okay.
They didn't go so much with
misread it then, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this looks dark. This looks not dark, but it looked like a platformer or something where like you literally, I think you die and you keep dying, right?
Right. And it's funny.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
See, this is where I'm glad. I've never played it. You played it. You're totally educating me on
It's
it.
way,
I'm so glad.
Yeah, this has been a while. This has been
This is
a
why
long,
I like this show.
while. But
Yes.
but it was, it wasn't comedy.
Gotcha.
But it was kind of dark, and you're not wrong. Like the themes that they touched on here it's very much the same, but the presentation for this was different. The presentation for this was very epic. Like genuinely epic. Like there were Lord of the Rings vibes at points on this. And that was different. That was very different. But I'm down. Let's do it. More Abe. It's a franchise that I wanted to see come back big for a while. So I'm in. Give me another Oddworld game. I'm here for it.
Yeah. I actually think I do own. Maybe I'll because I do own one because it was a part of the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, they did one not that long ago, and I think I think they had done like an HD something.
That's what it is.
Not that
That's
long
what
ago.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, but I can't remember the last time there was an actual like a new Oddworld game.
Right. Right.
But yeah, no, they did an HD version a while back.
Cool.
But, so yeah, always down for that. Here we go. Oddworld. In the list of games, there are don't give me the species, just give me the games. Games set on Oddworld. Yeah, because Abe's Odyssey was first, and then it was Abe's Exodus. Then there was Munch's Odyssey. I remember Munch. Stranger's Wrath, which was 2005. New and Tasty. There was It was I swear that was an HD version.
Yeah, there is an HD version of Oddworld for sure on PlayStation.
It was basically they remade Abe's Exodus. They remade the second game.
Okay.
And that's what they did. That's what happened. Yeah. It was a remake of. Mm-hmm. It was a remake of the first one or something, but it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't quote unquote new. Mm-hmm. I forgot about Munch's Odyssey. Nobody ever played Munch's Odyssey. That was the one. I don't know if you remember, because it was an Xbox game way back. This was like 02, 03, something like that. It had like the soda can on the front, and the creature.
I remember the ads.
Yeah. That was Munch, and he's like trying to climb out of the soda, out of the front of the soda can, or he was on the soda can or something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, it was like a Mountain Dew can or something.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is I always remember the advertising. I always remember seeing it. It was just one of those things that I never actually played.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I passed by it. But yeah.
No, they're fun. They're fun games. If you've got one somewhere, definitely check it out.
Cool.
But so we had that. We had Ghostwire Tokyo, which was different.
I don't remember this one. I must have went to the bathroom or something during this part.
It was like a first person. It was a mix of like Super Hot and Mirror's Edge kind of thing. It was different.
Okay.
So I really don't know what to tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm skipping through right now. You nailed it. It looks like those two games.
It's the best.
Or first person Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
But they're in Japan.
Yeah,
or like a futuristic Japan or something.
It's set in
stylist.
Yeah, it's like there's Tokyo, but then there's this sort of alternate, half dimensional Tokyo kind of thing where it's like you step. It's that thing of there's a layer underneath.
Yes.
It's that kind of thing where it's like, okay, cool, that's I'll check that out. Sure, why not?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting.
Oh, this is from Tango Gameworks. Is this the same game that I remember the E3 presentation last year, and the woman who came out on stage, she was so much fun. I forget her name. She had so much energy. I wish I remembered her name. If I showed you the video, you'd know who I'm talking about. She had a ton of energy.
Probably.
She came out. She was Japanese. And this is, I believe, the same game they were showing off.
Okay.
Yeah, she was adorable. I was like, she needs to be at every E3 moving forward, because she has so much energy and she was so much fun. Where I feel like the other people, they get comedians or something, and she just, you could tell she was a developer. She was into it. She loved it, and she was up there just having a ton of fun. But this is that game. Okay, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, this is probably one of those where if you showed me, I would say, oh yeah, I remember seeing that, because right now I don't remember seeing that at all.
I'll send it to you. You can watch it on mute or whatever. But yeah, she was really cool. The thing is, I don't think she works for that studio anymore, so maybe I'm overhyping it. I do remember her, but I believe she's still in the industry though. She became, after that E3, everyone was like, "We love you. We want to see you at E3. You are a ton of fun.
Nice.
We want to hear from you." Yes. She was. I remember her being all over IGN and stuff like that. It was really cool. Yeah, I love seeing it. It was like that guy in I can't remember the game's name, but I remember him. He was so excited about remember the doll that he had, and it was like a string. It was like a yarny. You know
wasn't it for it was for Unravel, wasn't it?
Unravel, yes, yeah. Remember that guy? That was the one thing I took away from it. Was this guy sold me on his game because how much passion he had for it.
That was it. Yeah, because he was super passionate about it. I remember that. Yeah.
So it was kind of the same energy with her. So I was like, I don't know what you're showing me, but they need to keep having you come out because I love the energy.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Good.
So I guess that was that game.
So they had that, and that comes out next year. They showed a game from Super Brothers called Jet: The Far Shore.
Okay.
It was another space thing. Yeah. I don't like. It was very much framed as like you're doing something because humanity is going extinct, and then you get in a spaceship and it flies off, and it's coming holiday 2020. So these people, what did they? Oh man, what did they make before? I see, that was something I meant to look up and forgot, because I know I knew the name from somewhere.
Super Brothers. They've made a lot of. I mean, I think they're like app games. I can't pull it up right now. Sword and Sorcery. Super Time Force, Below, Sword and Sorcery. So they've made a lot of these games that both come out on like PlayStation and like your iPad.
Gotcha.
Super stylistic, that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They
did some work with sound shapes, didn't they, back then? Was that like 2011, 2012?
Could be
2011. I forget. I don't know. For some reason, that sounds familiar to me. I don't know why. Yeah. I've been having the weirdest pulls. I don't know. It's like this was a thing, right? Dude, who fucking knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just remember the Sword and Sorcery one. That's the one that sticks out.
Yeah. And then we saw Gearbox's next game. It's called Godfall. It's a very Gearboxy looking game. I don't know what else to say about it but that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll probably give it a try. Just because I enjoy Gearbox games. So.
Right.
I don't know. I'll try it, see what happens. It's holiday 2020. And then we saw Solar Ash, which was from the guys who did, what was it, Hyper Light Runner, right? It's from that.
Sorry, I had a cough.
You're right.
I think so. Let me look it up.
I think it was that studio, because it was very, like, you want to talk about style. Like, that thing looked magnificent. Didn't tell you a ton about the game other than it looks really rad.
Oh yes, yeah.
But excited for that. That was 2021. We saw Hitman 3. They're concluding this particular trilogy. Which, okay, cool, fine. You know, that's good. Yeah. Whatever. Coming in January.
Yeah.
And then they brought back the things that live in the DualShock. They brought back the Playroom.
Right. Because they're going to have a camera with it, right?
Yeah, the bundle...
Didn't they show it?
What they showed for the... And again, they didn't say... It didn't... And that's why I hesitated, because it kind of might be a bundle, but they put a lot on that. Like, it was the controller, the docking station, a headset, the remote, the camera. I'm like, that's a hell of a bundle. And if that's what's going to be $5.99 or $4.99, if that's what's going to be $5.99, I'm okay with that, because
that was $5.99 euro or pound, right?
Yeah, which is more than what.
Yeah, it's going to be like 700 and something.
Yeah,
US.
which is way the hell too much. Even with all that, even if that's like, this is a whole bundle and it's $700, no.
It was the 2 terabyte version, Which, okay, I could see that being the if there was a 2 terabyte version plus all of that stuff, because 2 terabytes for SSD, I mean, you're talking $250 alone for the hard drive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got whatever leaked has to be whatever the most expensive package is.
Maybe, and I don't know. We'll see.
And I guess I missed that part about a bundle and all at the end. I thought they just showed off the consoles.
They
showed, like, here what they look like.
What they showed the console, but then also with it, they showed, of course they showed the controller, but then they showed.
Well, let's save that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they showed more of Astro's Playroom, and it was just the little things that live in the DualShock, and it's like, they didn't forget. Like, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be a fun, like, built-in thing, and it's like, I'm here for that.
Right.
And then they showed NeoStream's next game, which is called Little Devil Inside.
Yeah.
And this looked wild.
Yeah.
Like, I'm down. Like, that was a something, for sure. I don't know what it was, but boy, it was a something.
Yeah.
And then we had a quick look at some rendered footage from NBA 2K21 coming out fall this year. It's like, okay, cool, it's a new NBA 2K game.
They didn't show all the gambling.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
Yeah.
And then they said, okay, fine. You want to see an actual game? Here's Bug Snacks, which we talked about.
Right.
And I'm here for it just because it looked just bonkers. Like, it was ridiculous. So bring it on. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And that damn music.
Yeah. It was great.
Talking about Bug Snacks. Like, I could not get that out of my head. That made me crazy.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have, as soon as I started watching this, and the thing that cracked me up was right at the beginning. The strawberry gets eyes, and my first thought was, who's that Pokemon?
Right.
And then when it gets up and walks away, and it's saying strawberry, berry, strawberry, berry, strawberry. I was like, oh my god, they actually heard me.
Right.
Oh man, that was a trip.
Oh yeah.
But that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced something Demon Souls for the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a remake. So cool.
Yeah.
Happy for Demon Souls fans.
Yep.
Probably still won't play it.
Yeah, it's not my kind of cup of tea.
Nah, not mine either. I'm like, I say that and then I dabble and then I don't.
Yeah, I tried Bloodborne, but I just can't get past it. Yeah.
It's like, these games are meant to be really hard. I'm like, cool, you guys have fun with that. They're too much for me. I cop to that. They are too much for me.
Yep.
And then continuing the theme of Live, Die, Repeat, we had Deathloop.
Yeah.
Which is from Arcane Studios, and it looked interesting. Yeah. I liked the grindhouse film aesthetic.
Yes.
And that they stuck with it, like the whole presentation was done like that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that'll be the thing that sets it apart, because that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it looked fun.
Yeah.
And then they showed a game called Village, and I was like, but I saw the Umbrella logo, didn't I? Did I not? And then, they re-showed the logo, and, the V and the I and the two top parts of the L made it V-I-I-I. And it was like, oh, yes, this is Resident Evil 8. Right. I see what they did here.
Once it started getting weird in the trailer, I was like, this looks very much like Resident Evil.
I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I thought maybe this was, like Konami came back and made like a not Silent Hill game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was kind of where I was leaning towards. But
yeah.
And then, it's like, oh no, it's Resident Evil 8, and it's in the style of Resident Evil 7. It's even the same dude. What was his name? Ethan from Resident Evil 7.
Right.
So okay, cool. You've got one side, but I like this. You have one side of Capcom that's doing the remakes, and one side of Capcom that's moving the franchise forward.
Right.
I'm down with that. I think that's smart.
Yep.
And this one, I like how in Resident Evil 7, it was very much the confines of the house.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, it's much more about the uncertainty of what happens out in the open.
Right, the village.
Yeah. They were very clear about, like, no, in 7, it was creepy, you're trapped in here with these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now in the village, it's like, hey, you're outside and you have no idea what the hell could be lurking around a corner.
Right, right.
So, I like that. I like the dichotomy there. And, this is clearly, they started at the beginning. This is the end of his story. And it's like, well, who is his?
Right.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But,
yeah.
Excited. Comes out next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
They showed a game called Pragmata, which was like the third or fourth weird space game thing that we've seen.
Right.
Now. Like there was a running theme of space here.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave it a date.
Capcom game.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, this looks I got mad Death Stranding vibes from this. Like,
totally. The whole time I'm like, is this a Kojima game?
It was like if Death Stranding met Vanquish. Like,
yeah, I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of other studios try and ape that.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do with that.
But I don't know. It was weird. It was trippy. There was a satellite that broke through the sky and you fell into space, and it comes out in 2022. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll make a little more sense.
Yeah.
And then game-wise, they closed the show on a high note.
Yeah.
With Horizon Forbidden West is what they're calling Horizon Zero Dawn 2. And I am hyped. I am mad hyped for this game.
Yeah.
Because they've moved it.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's not just in like, oh, hey, here's snow. It's very... They hyped up, like, there was a little spot in the desert. But most of this is clearly going to take place in like a tropical-ish kind of setting. Like very archipelago-y, like Hawaii or somewhere out, or like Southwest California, that kind of place.
Yeah.
Because I think they showed San Francisco at one point. I'm pretty sure the Golden Gate Bridge was in this. But it was very meant to be like tropical, sort of like everything you see in a resort commercial, snorkeling kind of deal. Complete with brand new machines. So, very, very excited. Like I'm super pumped for this. I really am. Guerrilla hit it out of the park with the first one, and it looks like they're just keeping up the good work on the second one.
Absolutely.
So very, very, very down for that. And then they showed the console finally, and it's like somebody took the top of Cell's head and repainted it. Like it was between that, the marker from Dead Space, or everybody's router. Like,
I heard Greg Miller call it Wayne Tower, and I was like, oh, it does kind of look like Wayne Tower.
That's true.
Yeah, it straight up looks like a router.
But I like it. I like that it's a little stylized instead of just some kind of square or rectangle shape. I like it.
Yeah,
I dig that.
Xbox and PlayStation are doing very different looking boxes, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah. But the thing that they showed was like they made a point of showing, like, of course they showed the controller and they showed the system. They also showed a charging dock. They showed a headset, a remote, and the camera.
Yeah.
And they just kind of set them all there together. And that's why I said bundle earlier, just because it looked like they were trying to say, like, here's all the starter gear. It's kind of what it looked like they were trying to do. But they didn't, they didn't come out and say that. But it's like, why highlight that stuff if that's not what you're going for?
Right.
And they also, interestingly, showed a digital-only version.
Right.
Which I like that they have two versions.
Absolutely.
I do. And I think the trade-off is going to be that the digital... I think it's going to be hard drive size. I think the disc version comes with 1 terabyte and the digital only comes with 2.
That makes sense.
I think that's your trade-off.
Yeah.
And I also think that might be how they keep everything the same. I think the price will remain the same because that'll be the trade-off.
Yeah. I know they got a slot somewhere on there to add extended storage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the thing is, I've been all digital for this generation, but I'm still probably going to get the one with the disc because I'm going to want to buy probably 6 Blu-rays that are 4K.
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely still
yeah.
get the one with the drive for sure.
Right. I want to play Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or something like that. I've been waiting for this. It's insane that PlayStation 4 didn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm that's why I've really held off on buying Blu-rays. So I was like, I should have been buying 4K for about a year or two now, and just haven't. But yeah, I've been kind of waiting for this. So I'll be getting Star Wars and stuff like that to watch it on. I think it'll be cool. But yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it. I like it. It makes sense.
Yep.
I like how they give you the option. You know, one of them will have a disc, one of them won't.
Yep.
But you know, we'll know more about that. I imagine there'll be another one here in like August, where they're just going to be like, "Here's our final big presentation," blah blah blah, what have you.
Yep. Absolutely.
But in the meantime, you know, we've got Last of Us Part 2 comes out in a week.
Yep.
And then Ghost of Tsushima is next month, right?
Next month, yeah. And I see Last of Us got some good reviews too. So.
There's a shock.
Yep. So cool, man. Well, I think that wraps it up. Yeah, we're excited for it. We got when was Comic-Con again? Is that next month?
Yeah, the July 22nd through 26th, I think.
Yeah. So a lot of things to look forward to. So cool. Well, make sure you go. You can listen to us, of course, on Apple, Android podcasts. Make sure you go to YouTube, We Geek Podcast. Email us at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter's wegeekpodcast at wegeekpodcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. We're on Spotify. You can listen to us anywhere. So, till next week, we'll see you, Captain.